This episode of Unboxed was made possible thanks to viewers like you. Thank you. I remember when I was around 10 or 12 when I got my first PlayStation. A friend of my father's had won one and had no need for it, so just gave it to me. And among all the demo discs was a new copy of Crash Bandicoot. Man, I was terrible at it. Over time, however, I started playing the sequels as well as getting into his partner in crime, Spyro the Dragon. These were my memories of the original PlayStation. Sadly, in 2001, while we were on vacation, our house got broken into. And among the loss of jewelry and school bags was my PS1 and all my games. It was a very heartbreaking time for me. There was hours playing Crash, Cortex Strikes Back, and Warped. All of them. Gone. It was so depressing I actually stopped gaming for a few years. I'm telling you this because I want everyone to know where I'm coming from when it comes to this title. These games were a major part of my childhood, so seeing them reborn for a new generation just warms my heart. Or maybe I just ate too many Wumpa fruits. So as you boot up the game and witness Crash transforming from polygons to more sexier polygons, you immediately hear that familiar opening music and the nostalgia just takes over you. So anyway, you're taken to the game select... Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. You are then presented with the game select screen, and you basically have to play the first game as the other two are still installing. Thanks, PS4. So let's get the obvious out of the way. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. From the very beginning, everything has been treated with love and care. Even a redesign and reintroduction of Crash's old flame Torna. You forgot about her, didn't you? This isn't just taking a game's source code and upping the graphics for a new console like so many other remakes. All three games have been completely remade from the ground up, and I really can't stop fawning over how great they look, especially in comparison to the original game. For anyone who wasn't old enough to experience these games first time around, Crash is an old school style platformer, basically being Sony's answer to Mario and Sonic, with pits to fall down, enemies that kill you with one hit, Aku masks for invincibility, Wumpa fruits to collect, and commercials bring it right to Sony's competition.
Hey, plumber boy, mustache man, your worst nightmare has arrived.
What's even better is they've used this to finally balance out the original game somewhat. Firstly, being an early PS1 title, Crash 1 only supported the D-pad and wouldn't even work with future DualShock, so being able to control them with the thumbstick is great. And anyone who played the original game knows how bloody unforgiving it was. Mainly, the gems. You could only win gems by getting all boxes and not dying. So, I'm happy to say that the not dying part of that has been taken out. You can even redo bonus levels now. This isn't to say the game has been neutered, it's still incredibly difficult at times. But one thing that I've noticed is that Crash doesn't jump like he used to. It seems to jump over most pits and platforms. You have to hold down that jump button for a moment longer than you thought you should. Crash 2, naturally, looks just as good as the original. Personally, Cortex Strikes Back was the one I spent the least amount of the three. It is a really good game, but was really just more of the same, albeit with more nitroglycerin. Just going through the motions until... Crash Bandicoot Warped. Had this been just a remake of this title, that alone would have been worth it. The power-ups, the gems, Coco, and of course time trials. I remember spending months of my time playing this game non-stop. You could be running through a medieval kingdom, fighting sword wielders on Arabian rooftops, piloting a mini submarine underwater, riding down the highways on a motorbike, riding on top of a tiger across the Great Wall of China, flying a biplane and competing in dogfights.
Stop! My penis can only get so erect.
But they also add some new features to the first two, including time trials and leaderboards. But even more crazy, being able to play through all 3 games as Coco. It's weird seeing this, as she wasn't even a character in the first game, and 2, she appears as a hologram, losing her connection, only to appear playable right behind it. But of course, there are some nitpicks, and you probably know what I'm going to say, because everyone else has bloody said it. The lack of Crash Team Racing. I really don't know why Activision decided not to include this, but then I realized, oh wait, Activision. Odds are they will probably be releasing CTR as DLC down the track, but honestly, considering the fact Mario Kart has a monopoly on the kart racing scene nowadays, it really would have made sense to include it from the start. I popped in CTR while working on this review to see how well it holds up, and it was still as fun as ever. Now, imagine that with HD graphics, online multiplayer, and finally being able to play as Nitrous.
Stop!
But even without CTR, you're still getting 3 of the original PlayStation's greatest titles. And as a longtime fan, I think it's absolutely amazing to see these games being introduced to a whole new generation of gamers. I truly cannot recommend this enough. Now, what are we going to do about you?